What's up, guys? Brett Appley here from dailyfanmma.com, back with another UFC quick picks for you here on the Mayo Media Network. As always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like the video, helps us out a lot. Comment below who your favorite play of the DraftKings slate is. I'm going to give you my favorite cash game play, tournament play, salary play, and fade of the week for this Saturday's UFC fight night. Blaydes versus Lewis. We got 15 fights on the slate. It's going to be a crazy one. Coming off Usman versus Burns, where I gave out, Usman was the cash game play. Rodolfo Vieira was the tournament play. That was a crazy meltdown to witness. Gastelum was our fade, and he put up a pretty good performance, I believe. Robertson was the salary play, and that fight got canceled. I would love to get all 4 picks through fight week, through the weigh-ins that are on this video, because it feels like forever since we haven't had one canceled. Fingers crossed this is the week. But yeah, guys, let's get into it. Without further ado, I'm going to give you my cash gameplay, and it's going to be the main event favorite here, Curtis Blaydes, up at 9.4K. For cash games this week and in tournaments, I think Curtis Blaydes rates out among, if not at the very top of the slate this week in all formats at 9.4K. He's just a prolific scorer from a fantasy perspective, and he's a massive favorite here, minus 460 this morning against Derek Lewis, who is plus 365 as the underdog. And this is a striker versus grappler matchup to a large degree, where Blaydes is going to be trying to take this fight to the ground. Lewis obviously wants to keep the fight upright and knock him out, and I think Lewis is live in that first round especially, but Blaydes is going to have success with his wrestling over the course of 5 rounds. I just don't really see any way that Lewis can win rounds, so I believe Lewis' path to victory is a knockout or bust. And when Blaydes wins, it's going to come from many takedowns. It's going to come from lots of top control time. It's going to come from lots of significant strikes and non-significant strikes. And I think he's got a pretty good chance to win inside the distance as well. Let's see, Blaydes minus 460 to win, minus 160 inside the distance as a wrestler in a 5-round main event. That is just too difficult for me to ignore, even at 9.4K. Blaydes is coming off a 173-point victory. He scored 120 points in the past, 134 points in the past, 121. And in 5 rounds, I don't really see any way that Blaydes wins this fight and doesn't score well. It's just a question of, does he score 99, 110, or 150 plus? And for cash games, I don't really think it matters. I think he's essentially a must play. Based on his wrestling style, based on the metrics, based on the inside distance line, Blaydes at 9.4K is my favorite cash game play of the week. All right, next up is my tournament play of the week, and there's a lot of different directions I think you could go here. With 15 fights on the slate, I am expecting a lot of very high scores. I'm expecting a lot of finishes. I think it's going to be a crazy week. I'm going to give out Chris Daukaus at 8.6K. He's a minus 200 favorite against Alexei Oleinik, which is a pretty good value for that price. And he's also minus 140 inside the distance, which is a really strong metric for that price as well. Daukaus has fought twice in the UFC. He's won by first-round knockout both times, and he's put up some big scores, 141 and 127. I do think Oleinik is going to test him in a way that we haven't seen Daukaus tested before. I'm very, very high on this matchup as a whole. The fight as a whole is minus 565, ends inside the distance. So you need exposure both ways, make no mistake. Daukaus is the value side, though, and I believe he's a better boxer. He's faster. He's a more technical boxer. I think he hits harder. He's obviously much younger. Oleinik's pushing like 45 years old. He's probably more durable as well. So while this fight plays out on the feet, I do think Daukaus has advantages. I do think when Daukaus wins, which won't be all the time, but when he wins, I think a good chunk of the time it is going to come from a knockout. Oleinik, his durability has been a bit inconsistent. Let me pull up his UFC stats here real quick. He's coming off a knockout loss to Derek Lewis. That was with ground and pound, but his 2 losses prior to that were a 12-second knockout loss to Walt Harris and a first-round knockout loss to Alistair Overeem. So his last 3 losses have come by knockout. And if this fight plays out on the feet, simply put, I believe Daukaus has a chance to win by knockout. On DraftKings for tournaments, I always talk about it. We're not looking for safety here. It doesn't matter if my fighter wins or loses and scores 70, 85 points. I'm looking for fighters when they win, they're gonna bomb, right, in a positive way. They're gonna score, they're gonna smash, they're gonna put up 95, 100 plus points. And a fighter at 8.6K in Daukaus with a early knockout path to victory, great value, great metrics, and a fight very likely to end inside the distance. He's going to be my favorite tournament play of the week there at 8.6K. All right, moving on to my fade of the week. This week it's going to be Ketlen Vieira at 9.3K, and this is tough as well, but I think the price point really matters here for Vieira. She's a minus 270 favorite against Yana Kunitskaya. Vieira, we're probably going to see her in a title fight sooner or later. She has lost once in her career. That was to Irina Aldana, but she's a decent wrestler, decent counter striking, and Kunitskaya is experienced enough to, I think, challenge Vieira, but I do kind of expect Vieira to get the better of her in the wrestling department. Kunitskaya only defends takedowns at 33%. We're likely to see Vieira in top position here. The problem is, I don't know if Vieira has the type of ceiling I want to target on this particular slate at 9.3K. She's won, 5 times in the UFC, and she scored 81, 74, 89, that was in a submission, 86, and 77. And at 9.3K on this particular slate, I mean, if Blaydes loses, that opens up a lot. But if Blaydes wins, he's probably going to score 120 plus. I'd be looking for a big number from Vieira. I don't even know if a score like 110 would end up on the optimal lineup if Blaydes outscores her. And I just think that's very, very likely in a win for Blaydes. There's also Aspinall and Spivak and others priced below Vieira. So on a 15-fight slate, man, at 9.3K, I'm looking for 100 or more points. Vieira's never scored that in her career. She's a decent favorite in this matchup, which is why she's priced up, and I understand that. But she's also, plus 325 to win inside the distance. That is not a good enough number from my perspective. So if you want to fade my fade of the week, I know it hasn't been the best lately. Go for it. I do think Vieira puts up a pretty safe score in a win. I wouldn't be surprised with 85 points-ish. But at 9.3K, I'm really focusing on fighters who I think can totally smash, score 110 plus. And I just don't think that's a super likely outcome for Vieira in this matchup, especially given her metrics. So that's going to do it, guys, for this week's UFC Quick Picks. Thank you, as always, for the support. DailyFanMMA.com. All the breakdown. I think we got 17,000 words up there covering all 15 fights. Got an hour podcast, rankings, projections, all that good stuff. Check it out. If you would like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, like the video. Let us know who your favorite DraftKings play of the slate is below. Take care. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.